The newly graduated students, often they don't have a lot of experience, especially leadership. So how do you think about that? It's really embracing that very fact, and what we screen for is a couple of things in all employees, but especially for this pool. Number one is we actually test for, we do an assessment where we test critical thinking skills. And number two is we have a test. It's not perfect, but it's just a tool that enables us to really hone in on will they be a good cultural fit for our organization. Because if you have the passion for what we do, we can teach you the senior housing business. It's not a complicated business from that perspective, and so you can teach that. If someone doesn't have the passion, then we can't teach passion, so we pass on those individuals. So what we're looking for typically is smart, passionate people who want to roll up their sleeves and admit they don't know what they don't know. And through that program, we immerse them deep in the business, and so they're shadowing executives, they're shadowing our operators, we're giving them real-world projects where they're working on teams to solve some of the organization's biggest opportunities and frankly biggest challenges. And not everybody, to be honest with you, succeeds in that group. We kind of have a 3 out of 4 hit rate in terms of people that stick long-term. Some of them say, hey, after a couple of years, I'd like to go pursue a path in finance. Others say, I'd love to have a career path in operations. A few of them say, I want to go do acquisitions or investments. And so really it's just immersing them with capable leaders and giving them real-world projects. They're not just interns getting the coffee. They're involved in significant projects. And it's through that process that you can actually see whether they have the spark and whether they're picking it up on it. And over time, you give them increasing responsibility. We have one individual I'll give you an example of that he actually shadowed one of our divisionals for the better part of 3 years, and by necessity kind of jumped into the fray and assumed P&L responsibility for kind of 2 or 3 communities, which became 5. Today he's managing the entire state of Pennsylvania for us after only about 5.5 years. He's crushing it. We're an organization that's obsessed about metrics, so whether it's clinical quality outcomes, whether it's financial outcomes, whether it's operational, we publish all of our results so that the entire organization can see how you're doing. So it's not just your direct supervisor holding you accountable. Peers hold each other accountable. Inevitably, we've seen tremendous success from this pool of talent moving out into the business and taking the reins, and you set them up for success too, right? We make sure that in this case that was a very stabilized portfolio. It wasn't a distressed portfolio, and so we picked areas that we knew that he could be successful in that example.